Good morning, everyone. In Scilab programming class, today we are going to learn about the matrix. Okay, how can you create a matrix with the values? How the empty matrix will be? How can you access the elements of a matrix and the operations of element? Okay, so these are the things we are going to study. Last class we studied all these things and we started matrices. Today we are going to learn about all the operations involved within the matrix. Okay. How can you create a matrix with the real values? Okay, we have to follow a syntax as you have written in the notebook, as you are writing in the notebook, the same way we have to follow it in the Scilab also. Okay, so there are three things you have to follow. First, the square brackets has to be used to mark the beginning and end of the matrix, and there should be the comma to separate the values on different columns, and to separate the rows you have to use the semicolon. So all these things have to be used within the syntax, where if you are leaving some blank spaces means it is considered as there is no values. Okay, but make the line to easier in read, you have to give these three dots, that it is telling that there are some intermediate values within this. Okay, so this is the syntax for the matrices. Okay, so three things you have to follow, simply you understand, don't confuse about the index. First you have to use the square bracket, starting and ending you are seeing, no, the same way the square bracket should be there, and there should be the comma between the values, and to separate the rows you have to use the semicolon. Clear? Now we will see the example. See this example: 1 comma 2 comma 3 semicolon 4 comma 5 comma 6. So these two square brackets denoting that starting and ending of the matrix. This comma is used to separate the values of a column. This semicolon is used to separate the rows. Okay, so by using this semicolon we can identify there are two rows. By using the comma we can identify there are three values in the column. So two rows, three columns. Clear about it? So 2 into 3 matrix. This is the example. Okay, here in this it is not necessary to use the comma and semicolon as a character. Okay, when you are using a creating the matrix itself, if there is a blank space means it is identifying that there is a that means this is a row, like that it will identify. Here you can see another example: a equal to square bracket 1 space 2 space 3, and enter has been given 4 comma 5 4 5 6. So what is the meaning of it? When you give enter itself, it will identify that it is in another row. Okay, so if you are leaving a space means it is identified that there is a column, and if you are leaving, if you are pressing enter, it will identify that is another row. So this is one example, this is another example. What is the difference between this and this example is, here you can give comma and semicolon, without that comma and semicolon also you can create the matrices. Clear? Okay, these are the some simple functions, simple predefined functions which is available in Scilab. Okay, which can be used for your programming. So most commonly used functions are I comma, zeros comma, ones. So what it will do? These commands take two input arguments, the number of rows and number of columns to generate. Though it is a predefined function, you have to use two arguments. Okay, arguments means this one, right? This is used to specify the number of rows and columns. So ones of 2 comma 3 means 2 rows 3 columns. That is only 2 rows 3 columns. Ones means full of ones. The matrices is full of ones. Okay. Next, empty matrix. Empty matrix means which does not have any value. Okay, if you want to define like that, you have to give like this, which is nothing but 0 into 0 matrix. So if you want to, this matrix, do not delete the content of the matrix, so that associated memory is deleted. Once of 100 comma 100 means this will be created like that. When you give like this, it will empty the matrix. Okay, wow. Then the size is used to represent the size of the objects. Matrix is used to reshape a vector or a matrix in a different size matrix. And resize matrix, you can create a new matrix with a different size. These are the some of the predefined functions, that is modifiable functions of the matrices. Next, accessing the elements of a matrix. Accessing means already there is a matrix in which you are going to access a particular value, means how can you access it? There are several methods. Okay, first one is the whole matrix. You can access the whole matrix with the A syntax, or you can access a particular element by element, a of I comma j syntax, or particular range of values also you can access it by using the colon operator. Okay, there are three ways to access the elements of a matrix. First is the particular matrix, the whole matrix. Second one is the particular element. Third one is the range of the elements. The colon operator will be reviewed in the next section. We will see what is the use of this colon operator. First we will see, to access the all elements of the matrix, simply you have to give a variable a which can be used. For example, here you can see ones of 2 comma 3. What it will do? It has been, the whole matrix has been created with ones. Here you see b equal to 2 into ones of 2 comma 3. So the whole matrix is going to be multiplied with true. So how are you accessing it? By using a simple syntax. Clear? So here you can use any kind of operations. Here we have used multiplication operation. You can use either plus or minus, any operation you can use it. Here we have another one, A plus B, which means there is a matrix. What is the matrix? A, ones of 2 comma 3. B matrix is multiplication, the result. What we have done here, we are adding A and B. So what is the result? This will be the result. Once the element of the matrix are accessed directly, A of I comma j syntax, it can be provided with I and j values. For example, if I would like to if I would like to access this particular value, I have to use I and j. What is this I and j? Here you can find out that the first index of the default matrix is 1. Okay, 1. So this contrast with each other to the programming language which is in the C. If it is not like that, C. Okay, so here we have to assume that NR into NC matrix. Here NR is telling about the number of rows and NC is telling about the number of columns. So A of I comma j has only the index value, that is I and j. Here it has to satisfy this condition. This row value should be lesser than the column value, like this, 2 comma 3. 2 is the row value, 3 is the column value. This should be always lesser. And here also you can have 1 comma 1, but it should not be, the row should not be more than the column. If we are giving like this, it is the invalid matrix that you have studied, right? The same thing here also, it is the invalid index. So direct access of the elements can be done by using this A of I comma j. Okay, if you want to do any range of the value, that can be done by using this range, that is using this colon operator. Clear? Next one is the element-wise operations. What is this element-wise operations? If you want to do a particular element with a particular operation, you can do it by using this dot operator. Okay, so if a dot operator is written before an operator, it is associated with the element-wise operator. Okay, so for example, such that the operation performed by element. For example, with usual multiplication operator multiplication, the content of the matrix, you see C equal to A into B, which is Cij equal to P and K equal to 1. Okay, 1 comma N. So Aik Bkj. What is the meaning? Ai K. You are multiplying A and B. So C equal to A into B. C means P. We have identified as P. And K equal to 1 to N. K is nothing but the range of the values 1 to N. So 1 to K. Adhe madri B oda value will also be 1 to K. Okay. So here you see, if you use this dot operator before this multiplication, the content of the matrix C equal to A dot asterisk B means Cij equal to Aij into Bij, which is telling about The element wise means this operator, then the element wise operator has to be accessed. Okay, this is the element wise operator. Here you see ones of 2 comma 3. Okay, here 2 into ones of 2 comma 2 means what? Ones of 2 comma 2 means 2 rows 2 columns with one value. It is going to be multiplied with 2. Okay, that is only a into b means this will be. For example, if you are going to access a dot into b means you are going to access the element wise operator of b. Are you clear about this? So this only we studied as element wise operator, this operation. Clear? So these are all the some common functions which is available in linear algebra: chol and companion, condition, determinant, inverse matrix, linear equation solver, linsol, like that. Many predefined functions are available. You just write it. You could have get it in 2 marks. What is the use of this linsol function? What is this lsp, lsq, like that? Okay, so you have to be clear about it. So this is called as element wise operations. So particular element of the matrix can be accessed by using this dot and multiplication operator. So today what we studied how can you create a matrix, how can you see the empty matrix, how can you access the elements of the matrix, and how can you access the element wise operations. Clear? So with this we will finish our class today. The remaining we will see in the next class. Thank you.